What's up? So I want to officially welcome you to today's webinar. On today's webinar, we're going to be learning how to get paid between $500 to $3,000 every month working for foreign clients as a freelancer in Nigeria with just your smartphone. So I'm going to be teaching you, I'm going to be showing you practicality, how you can get paid between $500 to $300 every month working for foreign clients as a Nigerian from just your phone. So it doesn't matter if you are using an iPhone, whether you're using an Android, it works for all types of smartphones. Or you're using a tablet or something else, right? It works for all of this. Okay? And let's proceed. The goal of today's webinar is to help you understand what freelancing is and see the numerous possibilities of working with foreign clients and how it can upgrade your finances directly from your phone. And that's super awesome because a lot of people tend to think that you can't do freelancing from your phone or you can't do certain things from your phone. And just to prove that wrong, this recording is being done on my smartphone, right? It's on my phone, and everything I'm going to be showing you the practical steps and everything you can utilize is going to also be done directly from my phone. So with that said, let's keep moving forward. And if you stay on to the end of today's webinar, you will learn things like what freelancing is and how you can get started from your phone, where to find foreign clients like companies that will pay you in dollars, how to choose a profitable skill to sell as a freelancer on your smartphone, how to position yourself as a Nigerian to attract international clients, how to choose what niche to work in as a freelancer. Awesome stuff, value that you're actually going to be learning from me today. So let's proceed. What makes this webinar different? What makes this webinar different is that you get to learn directly from someone who has actually walked the talk. Basically, I have made over $100,000 since I started freelancing 4 years ago, and I started freelancing on just my phone. It was a Infinix Hot 5 I was using back then, and until today, I am still doing 90% of my work. In fact, 95% basically, directly from my phone using Google Docs or any of these things. Right? How did I do it? Basically, the skill I sell, which I'm going to be showing you guys how you can do it and how you can actually replicate these results. Okay? So you can look over here. If we zoom into this, you can see it's written here $10,558, right? And this is just from one of my sources as a freelancer where I earn on Upwork, and this was done within 5 months. In totality, it was actually over $17,000. But as of the time I took this snapshot, it had actually not recorded. Okay, and this was within 5 months. So that was an average of $3,000 plus per month from my phone. Out of the exchange rate then, that was about 1 million, 1.2, 1.3 million, I think. But if we are talking about today's exchange rate, which is now 710, as of today is 710 naira to a dollar, then you are looking at above you're looking at 2.1 million basically, right, for $3,000. So that's because that's about 2.1 million basically, right? So let's keep moving forward. Before we get started, let me just introduce myself quickly. Okay, my name is Walter Indaya. I'm a top-rated plus freelance copywriter. I'm a 7-figure freelancer. I have mentored over 2,000 students who have collectively made over $550,000 in the last 11 months with my teachings. I am also a client acquisition expert. Why does all of this matter to you? Because you want to learn from someone who has done it. You want to learn from someone who is actively, not just has done it, but is actively doing it and is up to date with what's going on. That way, your progress can be faster. You don't have to take how long it took me to get to where I am, but it's basically a shortcut for you. Instead of spending a year, you can spend 3 months, you can spend 2 months, you can spend 1 month, you can spend weeks, depending on what part of your journey you are in or how much you are willing to move forward and how much you are willing to put in and the rest of that, right? Okay, so let's move forward. But it wasn't always like this. And before I was any of these things, here's how it all began. This was me back in 2018 when I listened. You can see how skinny I look here. If I zoom this, you can see how skinny I look here. This was me back in 2018. In my mother house, I was working with low-paying Nigerian clients. These clients were paying me 10,000 naira per month, and I was doing a lot of things for them. I was managing all their social media accounts, which was Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. I was posting, I was replying messages for 3 people, and just getting paid 10,000 naira a month. So you can imagine how small that pay was, and this was really strangulating me. I had to burn out and start. I was being underpaid. I was a struggling copywriter. And this is the mud house I was staying in as of then. I was in the trenches of the trenches. If we zoom in here, you can see along the walls next to that black stuff, there is a place where there's something like waterproof there. This house used to leak water, and not just water, the holes in the house also had cockroaches and rats running around them. So this was my situation then. Before I started freelancing, I was able to upgrade my lifestyle. Okay, so let's move forward. Until I learned how to freelance properly and land high-paying clients who pay me in dollars, because I realized along the point that earning in naira is not really going to save my situation. Why do the same amount of work as my peers but earn over 10 times, 20 times, 50, even up to 100 times lower than what they earn, right? So I decided to go into the international market. And now I'm able to afford the lifestyle I work my own hours, and meet people of high importance. And I've made over $100,000 freelancing. On this image here, this was back in 2021. This was me with Honorable Akin Alabi. He's basically a billionaire in Naira, and he has made a lot of money in the business space. I'm able to meet top entrepreneurs like this, a lot of them actually. Okay, and this is me in Dubai very recently. I'm even going from here now down to Rwanda as of the time I'm recording this webinar. My flight is basically tomorrow. And this is me in Dubai. As you can see, this was at the Skyview Hotel. And this was at the top of the Skyview Hotel. The second picture over here where I'm holding my cap, right? So you can see what freelancing has done for me. And let's continue. You can see this is me over here, next to the Museum of the Future, the most beautiful building in the world, right? Most people would never get to see this in their entire life. And the reason they won't get to see stuff like this is because they don't have access to the information that I'm about to share with you now. That's the reality of it. When it comes to making money, having access to certain type of information, it's very, very important. And if you're privileged enough to be on this webinar, then it's really awesome for me. I'm really excited for you, right? And you can see me next to another top internet marketer, which is Mr. Ronald Nzimora. He has generated over billions of naira in sales. And this is also in Dubai. This was at the desert, right? So basically, I've been able to change my life from living in a mud house to being able to travel the world. I've gone to 2 countries this year, and I'm going to my 3rd one tomorrow. My flight is already set, and I've already rented my apartment in Rwanda, and that's where I'm going to be for some few weeks before I go back to Dubai, right? And that's you see that leverage of you being able to, and I'm still going to be working from my phone and be able to do my work while on the go from my house. I don't need to be in a Nigerian job. I don't need to be with a boss who is telling me do this, do that. I can basically do my gigs, do my jobs from just my phone and be able to move around. It gives you that location freedom, not just giving you location freedom and time freedom. It also gives you a high earning capacity, more than the average Nigerian, more than the average American too, if you take this seriously. Okay, so let's move forward. The best part of this is that this transformation has not just happened for me, but has also happened for my students also. Like, take a look at this testimonial here. This is from one of my students, and he was like, "Hi Walter, I hit $5,000 today," and I was like, "Let's go! I'm so proud of you, right?" So I'm going to zoom into this so you can see it here. $5,000 plus in total earnings. $5,000 plus. Let's do a quick maths here. Today's exchange rate should be, let's do it right. $5,000 times 710. That's 3.5 million, 3,550,000. Do you see how freelancing is changing people's lives? And there's not just one student, there are multiple of them, right? You can see Israel Obasa, he goes, with the tips you gave recently, I finally achieved this today. And that tip I gave recently is from the weekly coaching classes I hold with my students, which you actually get access to when you stay until the end of this webinar. Okay? The next one here is F. Young and Entity. And it says, this is true, but what I started freelancing and even joined the 2K program. I started to take some course on social media marketing. And boom, I got my results for $1,000 for a gig. For working just 10 minutes every day. Some days I don't even work at all, and I still brought them results. I recently had 3 interviews. I just got another gig with a sporting brand of $6,000. Worth $6,000 to work for 6 months. So that's also basically just $1,000 per month. So now with 2 jobs, he's making like $2,000 per month, right? And then I'll get a recruitment equity in the company if I exceed the expectations. Imagine working directly from your phone for simple this thing like social media management, social media handling, writing copy, writing blog posts, writing emails, and getting paid, even if it's $1,000 a month, that's 710K. If it's less than $1,000 a month, you're still making close to 400. If you're making $500 a month, you're still making close to 400K every month directly from your phone. Imagine the benefits that that can do for you, and how much more freedom you'll be able to get with that extra income, what you'll be able to solve and the rest of that. But enough talk, sure. Let's proceed with the webinar. And here's one more testimonial. It's from Samuel, and says, "Boss, good evening. This is a random appreciation message. You could have kept your knowledge to yourself, but you decided to share it with us. Your selflessness is changing my life. I owe you another testimonial coming this month. That's the least I can do." And at this point, you might probably be asking, "Hey Walter, what's in it for you? Why are you teaching us how to land high-paying clients and the rest of that?" Well, there are two reasons actually. The first reason is that I like impacting people. I've always wanted to impact people. I wanted to be a medical doctor when I was younger, but Nigeria happened to me, basically. And I could not become that, right? It's not even a matter of intelligence. When I dropped out of school, I was having straight A's. That's how bad Nigeria happened to me. Okay? The second reason is that at the end of this webinar presentation, I am actually going to sell you an opportunity. And yes, I would make money from that. And in return, you would get to make over 100 times more, literally, compared to the very small amount I am going to be charging for this. So I'm not going to bullshit you and tell you I am a saint, blah, 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 or something. I love helping people, but at the same time, I am going to make a certain amount of cash from this, and it's very minuscule to what you do if you take advantage. If you decide to take advantage of it, even if you decide not to take advantage of this today, that is still fine. You would have left this webinar a whole lot more stacked with so much more information in your head and so much more new things. You see the possibilities out there in the world. You know how you don't have to settle for less. Basically, you don't have to settle for earning only 200K a month, earning only 300K a month, or not even seeing up to that amount if we're being honest in the Nigerian job market. Okay? So let's proceed. To make it even better, this isn't a one-off type of thing. That's the awesome thing. Just because you get paid $2,000 doesn't mean you won't get paid more and make more above that. So the testimonials I shared with you earlier, just because they've made $5,000, they've made $1,000 a month, they are making this is $800 from a gig, a job, or a retainer, doesn't mean they won't still take the knowledge I'm going to share with you and going inside today to still make more money ahead, right? You're going to be getting paid every month. Down the line, imagine if you get into the program, or you take everything you learned from this webinar today and implement on it. And now what this does for you is that, okay, this throughout the next 1 year, you just get only a job of $500 or $1,000 every month. That means within 1 year, you've made $12,000. Imagine making extra 700 this thing. And even if you are young, whether you're 20, 18, any of these things, it still works for you. People who started freelancing at that tender age are the ones who go on to become all these top tech bros, right? But I think I'm talking a little bit too much, so let's proceed to the practical aspects of this webinar. So let's keep moving. So just because you got paid $2,000 doesn't mean you won't get paid more, and you won't make more above that. Okay? So I guess what I'm just trying to say, while I've been saying all these things, is that this works. This works even if you've tried it before and you don't know how to go about it. Even if you don't have a high income skill yet, you don't have a skill to sell, even if you don't know how to go about it, this works. It has worked for people who have been in your situation before, and it will work for you too. That's one thing I am very sure of. Now, the question is, would you want to go through all I went through? Or would you choose the simple, fast, and straightforward way? Would you like to go through all I went through? Because when I started, I was living in a mud house, struggling with this, and I spent months working for low-paying Nigerian clients. Or would you prefer to go through basically the fast, easy method that would fast-track your progress? You don't have to spend as much time. You can cut your time down from months to as little as weeks, or even from like 10 months to as little as 1 month, right? Or even less than that. It depends on your speed of assimilation, basically. So that way, you are able to stay ahead of the curve. You are able to progress faster than your peers. You are able to join the top 20% of freelancers than dawdling or working for Nigerian clients and being bottom tier. The decision is yours. And I would like you to say it in your head or reply with a firm yes in the chat box if you are with me. If you can't reply, then that's fine. Simply say, yes, I want the fastest way, depending on which one you want, right? That is up to you. Have you said that? Awesome, awesome. So we are going to continue proceeding with that. I love the energy you're giving to me. Now, one more thing before we dive in. You may be wondering whether you can or can't do what I'm about to share with you today. That is a valid concern, because what you really want to know is, will this time be different? Will you finally get the solution you've been looking for? Because chances are, if you are listening to this, you might have heard of freelancing before, or you might have tried to make money online, but none of those things worked. And you are wondering, is this the solution I am looking for? Because maybe you might have crashed your money in this thing, MMM, or any of these Ponzi schemes before, and now you are very skeptical about making money online. Or you might have tried some things, probably affiliate marketing, or any of these other things, and they don't seem to work for you. There is a reason they don't seem to work for you, and the reason is that, I'm not trying to frustrate you, but basically, I'm not trying to be insensitive or anything, but the reason is that you do not have a skill to exchange in value for money, right? If you have that, that's where you can't go wrong. This is the stage where you start making online money, and you can branch out into other business opportunities online and triple times your income, right? When you get to the level I'm at now, when you're making nothing less than $5,000 a month from freelancing, $6,000, $7,000 a month, then you can make other investments. But basically, back to what we're talking about. Will you finally be able to get the solution you've been looking for all this while? Okay, I believe you can, and as we go through this presentation today, I'm going to show you how this unique approach seems to work for different people. Different people from different backgrounds, all with their own unique set of challenges. So look forward to that, and it should help you see that that you can do this yourself. Okay, so different people from different backgrounds, people who are students, people who have been dropout, people who are going through, who have had it worse than you, because no matter what you think in this life, there's always going to be someone who has it better than you, and there's always also going to be someone who has it worse than you. And these people from different backgrounds, people who have it worse, people who have had to go through hell, have been able to use this same method and everything I'm showing you today to actually succeed, right? So look through it, and you'll be able to see that this will actually work for you, and you can actually do this. It's not rocket science, okay? Now, on that note, let us get started. What is freelancing, and how can you get started using just your phone? So freelancing, if you don't know what freelancing is basically you exchanging value or service in return for money. So it's you exchanging your skill or service in return for money. So let's say you can write, and you don't have to start writing long things. You can write social media posts, right? You see all those official social media posts, people who are handling official accounts. You can handle 2 to 3 companies' official accounts and get paid for it. Those are not long. You don't need to be the smartest to actually do that. So that's like a skill that you can exchange and get paid. Imagine charging each of those 3 companies or 2 companies $1,000 each to handle your social media pages post every month, right? That's like easy $2,000. So basically, that's what freelance boils down to. For further explanation, sorry about that. To get a further better explanation, it's simply, let's say the plumber who repairs pipes. So you probably have a plumber in your area. That guy is a freelancer, because basically, if he repairs your neighbor's sink today and charges them 5,000 naira for repairing it, and then your sink spoils tomorrow and he comes to you and you call him to repair it, charges you 5,000 too, he has made 10,000 within the space of 2 days, right? Now, that is, imagine if he has to repair 2 or 3 sinks or different plumbing faults in different people's house in the area, or even beyond the area like that, and he's charging 5,000 naira each. You can see that if he works for, let's say 10 people in a week, he has made 50k. Compared to if he's working under a company, and that company, no matter the amount of work they give him, his salary per month is fixed at 50k or 100k. Meanwhile, with freelancing, he can make even as much as high as 100k a week or more than that, right? Imagine if he gets a good gig, a big gig, and starts going for the big gigs of getting entire plumbing systems for people who are building their houses and the rest of that. Do you see what I'm trying to explain to you here? So that's basically how freelancing works. Now, how can you get started on freelancing using your smartphone? If you want to do freelancing using your phone, then you have to choose skill sets that can actually be done directly from your phone. Not everything can be done from your phone, right? So you can't do website design from your phone. I mean, you can do it, but it's limited to an extent, right? Same thing with UI UX designs. You can't do those type of skills on your phone. Instead, you can do ghostwriting, copywriting, Discord management, social media handling, basic graphics design, basic video editing, proofreading, and some other of this type of skills that you can actually do directly from your phone. Doesn't matter if your phone has 2 gig RAM or any of those things, you can actually still do it. Okay. Now, where do you find clients and companies that will pay you in dollars? It's quite simple. Oh, let's just go back. Let's take a step back to this one. Okay. Now, how can you get started? So, once you have a skill, next thing you want to do is you want to learn how to position yourself. Now, where do you position yourself? It's going to be on freelance platforms like Upwork, or on social media platforms like LinkedIn. And you need to know how to position yourself as a Nigerian. So they see value in you and they are willing to pay you a lot of money or thousands of dollars for that skill you have, right? This is where most people get it wrong. But I'm going to show you how you can actually get it right. So that's it. Now, we have to find following clients and companies that will pay you in dollars. Well, this thing, you can find them either on freelance platforms like Upwork, Fiverr, Guru.com, Dribble, and the rest of that. But you are going to mainly focus on Upwork and also on freelance platforms like Twitter. On social media platforms like Twitter and LinkedIn. These are hot, and even Facebook also. These are hot zones where you can actually find freelance clients. Okay, so these are hot zones where you can actually find freelance clients. Let's move forward. How to choose a profitable skill as a freelancer on smartphone. So, like I explained earlier, I said that when you want to choose a skill and you're starting with just your smartphone, then you want to make sure that this skill that you are choosing is something you can do from your phone, right? And there are so many high income skills that you can do from your phone. Now, just in case you don't know what a high income skill is, a high income skill is a skill that you can basically sell for thousands of dollars and it's also in high demand. You want those two things, basically. The reason you want those two things is because you don't want to say, this thing. You don't want to say you have a job now, and let's say you have a high paying skill that can pay $1,000, but it's not in high demand. So you get that gig, and after getting paid $3,000, $2,000, $1,000, any of those things, even above that, and then the client maybe has to take a break, or you are done with that gig, right? Now, before you get your next client, it takes you a month, takes you 2 months, takes you something that far. You don't want any of those things. You want something that, even if you're getting paid that $2,000, you know that, okay, by next week, you already have another gig, or they are paying you monthly, recurring, and the rest of that. So that's my definition of a high income skill, because I've taught over 2,000 students, and this is how I'm able to extract massive success from them and actually help them make the most amount of money from it, right? So let's proceed. How to position yourself as a Nigerian freelancer to attract international clients. Now, how do you position yourself as a Nigerian freelancer to attract international clients? So when you go on platforms like Upwork, and let me show you some practicalities here. So when you go on platforms like Upwork, like this is my Upwork account, right? When you go on platforms like Upwork and you've signed up, you will be able to actually access certain things, actually. And these certain things are, oh, it's telling me to log in again. I think I've already logged in. Okay, so Upwork seems to be having a problem. And it seems to have actually loaded now. Awesome. So when you go on platforms like Upwork, you can, when you create your profile, you'll be able to create your profile based on what you do. You see jobs on your job feed. This is your feed. This is best matches. This is most recent, right? You'll be able to see these jobs and you'll be able to apply to them. This is how that student who made over $5,000 was able to make $5,000 using positioning. So what matters when you get to these things is how to do your profile. And when it comes to making a really good profile, what matters is, number one, your profile picture. If you don't have money to go to studio to snap, that's not a problem. I'm going to teach you how you can actually snap really good photos from your phone. Basically, if you don't have a good phone, or you feel like your phone camera is not top tier, obviously you basically have a friend whose phone or whose photo is also good, and you can actually use theirs too. Okay. And the next thing, and if you're wondering, hey, Walter, can we Nigerians do this? All my students are Nigerians, basically. And the people who are making $5,000, $10,000 as my students are still Nigerians, and they say Nigeria with you, basically. And as you can see here, my location here shows Calabar, Nigeria, literally, right? That's even when I'm outside the country, that is where I still use to actually get clients. So it shows you that it doesn't matter where you are from, but what value you have, and how you present that value to actually get these clients. Okay, so let's keep moving. So next thing you want to learn is your profile picture, then your title overview, and how you write your how you write your your job title or your skill title, basically, which is this one, which is in your sales letter copywriter. So I'm going to be showing you how you can actually do all of this, how you can structure your profile, how you can upload your portfolio, how you can choose your skills, and what you need to do to actually get the most out of this. Now, once you have that sorted out, it gets easier, because now when you come to submit job proposals, you can see something like a copywriter to write a sales letter. So this person just wants a sales letter, and they're going to pay $200 for that. I will not take $200 for a sales letter, because I'm way above that level, right? Like, or if I'm going to charge this client, I'm going to make sure the client pays me more, at minimum $1,000. And it's very possible for you to actually do that. It's called negotiation, which I'm going to be teaching you today, which I'm going to be showing you how you can actually do it. But basically, let's say you're a beginner and you get a job like this, copywriter to write a sales letter for $200. That's 140,000 naira for a job that will take you a day, 2 days, or 3 days. 140k. Do you see how much money, how much leverage freelancing gives to you? And there are thousands of jobs like this where you can actually do it yourself. It's not even earning on gigs. You can get paid hourly, which is also something that is super awesome. Like, awesome landing page for us, Facebook copywriter needed, German language. Okay, let's just say you can do German language, but you can say the client has spent over $300,000 and is willing to pay between $50 to $70 per hour, right? So let's say you're working 20 hours a week for these clients, right? Because he said less than 30 hours, so that's within 30. That's basically from 30 hours below. So let's say you are working 20 hours for this client, and you are getting the job at $50. 50 times 20 is basically $1,000. So you are getting paid $1,000 weekly for the job you do for this client. If you are working just 10 hours, you're getting paid $500 weekly. Now, if you calculate that, that's basically let's say that's basically 710 times 4. That's basically 2.8 million naira every month from your phone. So you see that this is something that is easy to do, not just easy to do, can be easily executed, and you see the leverage it gives you over earning in naira, because this exchange rate we are seeing today is definitely going to go further down. It's going to get to 1,000 naira. It's going to get 1,000 naira to $1. So you want to learn how you can leverage yourself so that your income is still good, and as people's buying capacity are being reduced, yours is increasing because you are earning in dollars. That's the ultimate leverage you can get right now. Okay, so let's keep moving forward on this webinar. Now, you want to learn how to position yourself as a Nigerian freelancer to attract international clients. But that's basically how you do it on freelance platforms. Now, on LinkedIn, it's similar, but I'm going to be showing you how to use it, or setting your profile, how to reach out to CEOs on LinkedIn, not just CEOs, top decision makers like the chief revenue officer, head of head of marketing, chief content, copy editor, and those guys who are in positions to actually hire you and say, oh, come and solve this problem for us, come and handle our social media for us. We are willing to pay you $1,000 a month, $500 a month, depending on you, and it can even be way more than that. Basically, you will learn how you can actually do all of this directly from your phone, whether it's iPhone, whether it's Android. I'm just repeating it because I want you to understand that your phone type doesn't matter when it comes to this. As long as you have access to the internet and you have an app store where you can get this, then you are good to go. It doesn't matter your storage space too. Okay, so let's move forward. Now, how to choose what niche to work in as a freelancer. When it comes to choosing niches to work in as a freelancer, there are things you need to know. So first, you want to compare you want to say what skill do you have an affinity for. Like most people find writing easy, not because they are good writers, but because it's easy to get inspiration to write something. Like take social media handling, for instance. The inspiration to write a company's post that is not even up to 500 words, that can be 200 words, 100 words or less, it's not difficult to come by. You can literally just look at other posts that other companies are doing, and you can draw inspiration, or basically even rearrange what they are writing, right? And you get paid a lot of money for it. Now, that's number one, is your affinity. Some people are more into designs and the rest of that. Now, for the purpose of this thing, and we're talking about using your smartphone, you have to consider that, okay, since you are using a smartphone to start, before you make your first 100k, 200k, 300k, 500k, I'm talking about naira here, so that you can afford a laptop, then what you actually want to do is simple. What you want to do is that you want to choose a skill, or niche that you can work with from your phone without without stressing yourself. So this is basically it. I'm tackling these two questions, this thing, how to choose a niche and how to choose a profitable skill to work as a freelancer. Okay, so the next thing you want to consider is the payments going on in that industry, the amount of money going in that industry. You agree with me that some industries see way more money than others. Take for example crypto, right? You will see that crypto writers make more money than the average blog writer or the average article writer, except that person is writing for crypto blog, for crypto companies and the rest of that. So that depends on that industry and how much money is being listed. The biggest industries are health, relationship, and finance. And if you can position yourself in any of these industries, then you are good to go. Okay, you will be able to make a lot of money because a lot of money is here, and it depends on what you're offering. So writers boom in all of these niches. You, as a graphic designer, you're going to focus more on something like, okay, let's say e-commerce, right? Because why e-commerce needs writers too. But yes, your skill set is this thing. What do we call it? Your skill set is basically let's say your skill set is basically graphic design, right? You can work with either YouTube creators, you can work with this thing, people in the e-commerce and the rest of that. Whatever it is you're doing, there is tons of demands for these high income skills you have in the foreign markets. Working with first world countries like New Zealand, working with first world countries like New Zealand, Australia, America, UK, and the rest of that. That's how you get paid the most out of it. That's how you leverage the internet to make thousands of dollars monthly from your smartphone, basically from your phone. So let's move forward, guys. Now, if you are still with me at this point and you're eager to learn how you can become a high paid freelancer from just your phone, then you are in for a massive treat, guy. Because basically what I'm going to show you is going to blow your mind in the next few minutes. Because I have something extremely special for you that most people will never get. Take a trip back to when I said what I said earlier about most people not being able to afford the lifestyle of traveling across the country. I've had students who have been able to get jobs and move to Poland because of a tech job they got and the rest of that, right? They are not able to access, some people are never able to get hold of these things because basically they don't have access to this information or to privilege to actually be on a webinar like this, listening and the rest of that. And that is really sad. But for you, as you are here right now, then there's a reason why you are here. Okay? And because I have something special for you that most people won't get. So let's proceed. All right? And you will agree with me that it has been a time spent so far. I can't cover everything you need in an hour's webinar, even if I had all day. And that is the truth about it. I can't cover everything that I need to teach you in an hour's webinar because there's so many things you need to learn so that you can fast track your progress 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 1 month, and the rest of that, depending on how fast you go, to actually earning or actually becoming a freelancer who is verified and can actually go out there to make this, to learn the skills and the rest of that, basically. So I can't cover all of that in an hour's webinar. Okay, and we have been here so far for 30 plus minutes, right? So imagine if I decide to continue to teach about freelancing and the rest of that, we won't even cover the basics of understanding what basically that's it. Okay, so let's move forward, guys. Now, here is a special offer that you can get for you so you can get everything you need to know. And if you act fast, I'm going to give you a very, very special deal. But before I proceed, please note, don't let old habits stop you from taking advantage of this. You know what old habits are? The whole, why are you teaching us? If you have been with me from the beginning of this webinar, I explained why I'm teaching you, why I am able to be proud to say I am a mentor to over 2,000 students who have made over $550,000 in the last 11 months. And by the end of this year, we are projected to make collectively over $1 million. Now, if this kind of confuses you, here's simply what I mean. So if one of my students, out of my 2,000 plus students, if one of my students gets a job that pays him $1,000 every month, you can see that student, for the duration of 3 months of being my student, he has made over $3,000, right? Compared to that's my student who is also making maybe $3,000 per month, right? And for the duration of the next 3 months, they have made about $9,000. And then there are also the students who are making $500, $200 per gigs, maybe one of gigs and the rest of that, depending on what part you decide to follow, right? So if you combine all of these my winning students together, hundreds of them literally, then you would be able to get to that amount of money collectively. And this month and this year, by the end of this year, we're going to definitely surpass $1 million in gigs closed, right? So you can see that such a large impact is something I am very proud of. Something that I know, okay, so looking at all the people making all this money, people being happy, being able to change their lives, being able to do things, they don't have to be in situations where they don't want to be because of money, and they don't have to look at their fathers or mothers laughing at them and asking, why are you always pressing your phone? What are you doing with your life? All those kind of things. It makes me really, really proud, and it gives me great joy. And that's why I'm teaching this. And secondly, like I said, you're going to get a very special offer, which is actually going to cost you a very small amount of money in relation to the value you are going to be getting. Now, don't let hold habit stop you from taking this. Don't let the fear of doubt of if I can do this or if I cannot do this, or maybe I will see on that and like that. Because believe it or not, if you are over the age of 20, at the age of 20, even that you have come across a life-changing opportunity more than once. Like if you come at least twice, 3 times. And there are so many reasons why sometimes people don't take it. Sometimes they're like, oh, I'll come back and check this in later, and it's gone. And that's the same thing with this offer. If you don't take it now, it's going to be gone. Sometimes you just scroll past it and then some things happen. Network freezes, all those kind of things. But you must have come across something like a life-changing opportunity in the online space. And maybe you didn't have enough information at that point to take advantage of it. But today, this one here, you are going to be able to take advantage of it if it's something that appeals to you and you want to take advantage of it, right? So let's move forward so you understand what you're getting. Okay? And let's move to the next slide. Now, with that said, I would like to personally invite you to the Freelance for Smartphone course. Simply, the Freelance for Smartphone course is basically a course where you can learn all about freelance. Even if you don't have a skill, there are going to be skills starting side that you can actually use. How to get paid between $500 to $3,000 per month as a freelancer directly from your smartphone. Everything I just talked about here, everything I just showed you in Upwork here, where you can actually look at this like copywriter for sales letter, where the person is saying $200 to pay, or the person is rewrite copy for a website, the person is charging $300, which is over 210K for just rewriting the website and the rest of that. You are going to be able to learn all of these things and how to do it from your smartphone and make this huge amount of money directly from your phone, okay? Using apps like Google Docs. I'm going to show you the apps you can use. I'm going to be showing you how you can use those apps and the rest of that. But let's proceed, okay? So you can see what you get and how, and to help you decide if this is for you, let me show you what you're going to get when you get the course today, okay? So the first thing you're going to get is module number 1, Upwork Masterclass. Inside this module, we will learn everything you need to know about landing high-paying clients on Upwork and getting approved on Upwork. You will learn how to create your Upwork account. People actually charge for that. They charge over 5,000, 10,000, 15,000 naira for you to actually create for them. But I'm going to be showing you how you can do this once you get the course, basically for free, at no cost, right? You will learn how to create your Upwork account. You will learn how to arrange your Upwork profile. You learn how to you learn how to set your Upwork profile so that when you send proposals, people are super interested in wanting to hire you. And you don't have to start wasting money sending too many proposals before you get a job. You will learn all of these things. You will learn how to handle interviews when you get a reply. You learn how to handle interviews, not just handling interviews, how to handle interviews so that you close the job. You will learn how to send proposals, and you will get templates that you can actually use to send winning proposals and templates for handling interviews. You will learn all of these things and basically inside this module. Now, you will learn what is on Upwork, how does Upwork work. Extra thing you're going to learn how to register and get approved on Upwork. That's why people charge, because if you register anyhow on Upwork, then you are not going to get approved. They're going to learn how you can do this. They're going to learn how to draft a winning proposal. You're going to learn mirroring versus complementing. It's a psychological hack as I teach my students to get clients to respond and hire them on Upwork. And no one outside my student base knows this, and that's why I have the most successful set of students in Africa in the freelancing space, right? You will get first line bangers to get your proposals read and approved, how to navigate to the Upwork mobile app and set up your payments method. You get all of this and more in the Upwork app. The main benefit you get from this is the speed of progress and understanding. You will never have to worry about anything on Upwork or spend average time like freelancers. You don't have to spend time figuring how do I do this, what is this for, what is that for. You are going to learn all of this, and you are going to learn how to get high paying clients on Upwork really fast. It's going to cut through the unnecessary things and go straight to the things you need and actionable steps that you can actually take to achieve this. Okay, and let's move forward. The next module you are going to get when you get the Freelance for Smartphone program is the offer creation for freelancers. So keep in mind, you are getting everything about Upwork, Mastery, and the rest of that. Now, second thing you're going to get is offer creation for freelancers, right? Inside this module, you're going to learn what separates top freelancers from the average freelancers, that it is their offer. You don't get paid the most for being the best. You get paid the most for having the best offer, presenting it well, and executing it. I want you to be the best. And by having the best, I want you to be the best. And the way you can be the best is by having the best offer and being able to charge a good amount for it, which is why in this module, you are going to learn what an offer is. Like I said, even if you're a complete newbie and today is the first time you're hearing about freelancing or any of these things, you are going to be able to actually take the steps in this program and actually achieve it, okay? How to craft a freelance offer, the criteria for creating a good freelance offer, what you need before creating a freelance offer, the right way to present your freelance offer, what niche you can create freelance offers for, and a whole lot more. You're going to learn how to do all of these things by yourself, and not just by yourself. There are still more things I'm going to be giving you that will show you how you can do this and why this is the clearest part for you to make $500, $1,000, $2,000 every month going forward from today. I'm going to show you that. And you're going to learn all of these things, right? So let's move forward. The main benefit of this module is that you'll be able to charge more for your services, because now you're going to learn how to do something and you're going to know certain secrets that 90% of freelancers don't. And that's the truth, because what separates the average, let's say someone's a graphic designer and the person designs flyers, right? We all probably know someone in Nigeria who designs flyers. How much do they pay that person? 5K, 10K, 3K, 2K, right? At most, the highest a flyer designer usually charges, depending, it's like 10K, 15K. But that's not money. That's not any serious substantial amount of money compared to a graphic designer that is offering that same service to a foreign client. Let's say that client just wants to pay him $50, just $50. We're not talking about anything bigger. 50 times 710. That's 35,000 there, right? That's over 3 times, 4 times, 5 times what the 10 times what the average this thing is offering. But this is still low boiling it, because $50 is still very, very small. So you take that skill. What you do with that skill is, okay, you offer to create thumbnails for YouTube creators, and if you have someone who is creating a lot for each thumbnail you create, you charge the person $100. So if that person creates 5 videos in a month, you charge the person $500, right? 500 times 4 by times this thing, what do we call it, times 710 naira. That's 355k from one client alone. Or the client keeps on a retainer monthly for $500 or $1,000, depending on how often they actually release videos. And the reason for this is simple. Thumbnails are one of the things that get clicks on YouTube. So if you can actually get and do this for this thing, it's not even something that's super hard to do. I can create thumbnails on Canva from your phone. Literally, you can create thumbnails on Canva. I do it myself, and I'm not even a graphic designer. So imagine you being a graphic designer, you're going to have some extra knowledge and rest of that, and you can do it, right? So you see how much you can make directly from your smartphone, and with the skills and how you position yourself and how you can create an offer around it. That's going to separate you from what the average guys who are earning 50k a month, 100k a month, or any of those small amounts of money in naira from this. And even in the outside country, there's also freelancers who are basic, right? You are going to learn how to become top 20% of high earners as a freelancer on this. So move forward. Okay, with just these 2 modules, you should have a clear path to making $8,000 per month. And I just showed you one easy clear path that you can take. Now, let's say you want to do graphic design. It's the same thing to other things I've been explaining, even if it's social media management, or you want to be a copywriter like me, or you want to do content writing. This is also the same clear path to making $1,000 per month. It doesn't have to be complicated. It's something you can easily do. Okay, let's move forward. But there's still more. In module 3 of the Freelancing for Smartphone, you will learn about there's still more. Like after those 2 modules, there's still something extra you're getting. And in module 3 of the Freelancing for Smartphone, you're going to learn about the LinkedIn outbound client acquisition system, right? Because you want to learn how to land high-paying clients. That's the main thing. It's one thing to have a high-income skill, but no jobs are coming in. That's like what analogy can I give now? That's like you pouring water into the rain or something like that, right? Because if you have a skill and there's no job, then there's no way you can make money out of it. But in this, you're going to learn how to make the most money out of that skill you have. And if you don't have a skill, I'm going to show you I have something really, really awesome for you as you are on this webinar. And the rest of that, okay? So in the LinkedIn outbound client acquisition method, you will learn how to use LinkedIn and what LinkedIn is, how to create a LinkedIn account and the rest of that, how to position yourself on LinkedIn, 5 creative ways to come up with viral inbound content on LinkedIn, how to do outreach properly, how to find top decision makers and high paying gigs on LinkedIn, how to start a pitch, how to do outreach, how to do cold outreach, how to build a massive network on LinkedIn. You see the awesome stuff about this, because if you are able to do all these things, you are able to propel your career forward, either as a freelancer or as someone who wants to work a 9 to 5 that the techniques here is going to propel you forward so fast. And one other reason why I love LinkedIn is that LinkedIn is the hub for businesses. So if someone wants to pay you $200 for a job on Upwork, that person is going to be willing to pay you $500, $600 for it on LinkedIn if you do the outreach yourself, right? And I'm going to be showing you how you can cut through those corners and get to the main bone, like to the flesh of where you can actually get your own lion's share out of the freelance market. Because if you are confused and just wondering about, you are not going to be able to make the most money out of it. And this is going to be broken down into simple, easy steps that you can actually understand, even if you never heard about freelancing before and you're just hearing about it now, okay? Now, the main benefit of this model is to help you understand and totally dominate LinkedIn. Basically, it's going to help you totally understand and dominate LinkedIn, because it's super important that you learn how to do this if you are looking to move outside freelance platforms. Now, the best part about this is that just module 1 and module 2 alone can make you a lot of money. In fact, just module 1 alone on its own, the Upwork Mastery, it's a lot of money. But you are going to be getting the Upwork Mastery, you are going to be getting Offer Creation Masterclass, you are also going to be getting the LinkedIn Outbound Client Acquisition this thing when you join the Freelance for Smartphone program today. And you are not going to pay anything except the one-time fee. And I'll be giving you special bonuses too. But let's proceed, guys. Okay? But this isn't all you get. I wanted to make this really simple for beginners and those who don't have digital skills yet. So when you get in today, you are going to learn high income skills that can be utilized on your phone, whether you're using an iPhone, whether you're using an Android, or the rest of that. You can utilize these skills on your phone, okay? High income skill number 1, the kick-ass copywriting course, right? You're going to learn how to write copy as a beginner that will get you more sales, clients, and money than you can ever imagine. Okay, you're going to learn how to write headlines, how to write copy, and how to write the way I write so that you can make the most money out of it. If you look over here, this is one of my students, Keva. She is she is a copywriter. She learned copywriting and she's learning from my program. And here is one of her testimonials. This is one of her testimonials. She has given me a lot, right? I just wanted to thank you because your course opened the way for me. I have earned 3,000 plus. And by the time I replied this message, the next reply after this message was that she has actually entered 4,000 and 5,000, right? You see how it's a consistent amount of income you are earning. You don't have to start stressing yourself about where your next money is going to come from. And you're not going to leave it up to luck to make money or make thousands of dollars. So it goes from January to now. I have a job success score of 93%. I'm just 19 to be 20, Walter. Thank you so much. And one reason why Keva's story, I don't really know how to pronounce her name that way. It's either Kiva or Keva, one of them, right? But basically, one reason why her story is so special to me is that when she got into my program, she was like, her mother has always been asking her, why are you always pressing your phone? Or she was looking to get into writing, like, when will this your writing stuff actually pay you? Do you get that? So having her go from that to making over $4,000 on Upwork alone, and she also gets clients on LinkedIn and the rest of that, is a huge win both for her and for me. I'm always proud and happy when any of my students win, because basically if they are winning, I am winning, and that's the reality of it. One person winning doesn't mean there's always tons of demands. Like there are thousands of jobs out there who are looking for skilled freelancers and who are willing to pay you thousands of dollars. Okay, so that's one thing there. Let's move on to the next skill you are going to get when you join today. Okay, so the next skill is high income skill number 2, which is the content writing and content marketing crash course. Learn how to create and write simple content that goes viral for businesses, right? You are going to learn how to do all of that. And what separates content writing from copywriting can be quite simple, right? Content writing can be like blog articles and the rest of that, while copywriting can be sales letter, VSLs, webinars, and the rest of that, right? So let's proceed. So inside this, you're going to learn what content writing is, how to get started as a content writer, how to write blogs, how to write emails, how to write content, how to write product descriptions, and the rest of these things that you can charge. Take, for instance, product description. When you learn how to write product description. Now, you can take product description writing, you can take it and offer it to e-commerce businesses, people who are selling things online, foreign companies, right? And you can say, hey, I am going to write your website or your product description for $500, for $1,000, and the rest of that. Now, what that does is that you're going to write, maybe someone sells belts online, and they have different types of belts. They have leather belts, they have silk belts, and all those kind of things, right? When you write product description for this kind of products, you can get paid as much as $500 or $1,000 for a full website, or even more than that, depending on how you charge, right? But basically, those are like the bare minimum I'm talking about here. And you see that it's something that you can do within 2 days, 3 days. And when you finish it, you're looking at your account and you're saying, almost, I made 710K within just 1 week of work. Or I made this thing, half of that is like 300 and something K, right? 350, 360K with just this thing. Right? So I made 360K with just this thing, 3 days, 2 days of work, depending on how fast you complete those kind of tasks, right? So you said it's not something that you have to overstress yourself and start doing the most to start making the most money. No, you can do the same amount of work that people are doing in Nigeria. In fact, you're actually going to be doing less, because you're going to be doing it from your smartphone. Not just on your smartphone, you are going to be sitting down in your house or hotel or your friend's house or wherever you want to be, location independent, like I said, and be able to do this, right? So and it can be less work less hours, and make more money than those who are entering traffic and going to this and just taking risks in Nigeria, all the stress that comes with working as a Nigerian job and the rest of that, or whatever country you're actually watching this from. Okay. So if you look over here, you have one of my favorite testimonials again from Elo. Like, he later sent the offer on Upwork. We have been using Upwork for payments, while the charge is air. So Upwork at the beginning charges just 20%. So basically, imagine my first that's why he was complaining. But as after that 20%, they charge you way less than that, 10%, 5% for working with that same client, right? Now imagine, he goes, but it's still good for me though. Imagine my first gig on Upwork being $1,000. This is a milestone, because now he's going to be getting more high-paying jobs on Upwork. So his first gig on Upwork is $1,000. By the end of this month, I should be able to hit $2,000, and that's enough momentum for me. And that is actually true. He has exceeded $2,000 as of the time he actually shared this testimony, or basically shared this with me, right? So now take a look at this. Imagine this is you join today, and maybe in the next 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, depending on where, if you don't have the skill, right? It's going to take you longer if you don't have a skill. But if you have a skill, the next 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and the rest of that, and your first job on Upwork is $1,000, right? That's 710,000 naira. Obviously, it paints the picture of how much you can make, right? So that's the second thing, because I don't want you to say, oh, what, I really want to learn how to do freelancing, but I don't have a skill. So you are going to learn these 2 high income skills, right? And a whole lot more skills are being added. Some examples of the skills that will be added are graphics design for smartphone, ghostwriting, social media management and handling for smartphone, and a whole lot that you can actually use. And if you get in today at the offer I'm going to be giving to you, I'm going to give you a very special bonus. And one of that special bonus is that you are not going to have to pay any extra money to upgrade. You are going to no upgrade from 1 year from now, because you're going to get lifetime access to this, right? So when from 1 year, 2 years from now, when we are super big and the rest of that, you get to pay nothing at all. Okay, let's move forward. With this knowledge at your fingertips, you can now become a modern-day money-making freelance machine directly from your phone, because you now have a way to actually control how much you make. So you know that, okay, if you want to make $1,000 a month, you have to work with 1 client or 2 clients. So if you want to make $2,000 a month, you have to work with 2 or 3 or 4 clients, right? You see that this actually makes it easier for you to increase your earnings, and it's trackable. All right, so let's continue moving forward. But that's not all. I still have some bonuses to give you today when you join the Freelance for Smartphone program. So the first bonus you're going to get is freelance bonus, lifetime access to the member support group. You don't have to do this alone. You can join the support group. Not that you will join the support group and be able to partake in our sessions, ask questions, and you don't have to just get a course and go and figure it out on your own. No, you get post-purchase support on this when you join today. Okay. Second bonus you're going to get is Freelance Bonus 2, which is access to a list of apps and tools you can use to make freelancing on your smartphone easier and how you can actually use them. I'm going to show you how you can use these tools, how you can use this Google Docs, how you can edit it. You don't have to start learning it separately. You're going to learn access. You're going to get a list of them and how you can do it. Okay, that's the second bonus you're going to get. The third bonus you're going to get is access to periodic meetings and coaching classes. You will get access to every inner circle coaching we are going to hold in the membership group. And even if you join later, you're looking at this at a later date where the price has increased and the rest of that, you are still going to get access to the recording. So it's a win-win. You definitely can't go wrong with this. Then the next bonus number 4, is 10 evergreen outreach templates. Templates are an awesome way for you to quickly craft outreach messages to potential clients or utilize to submit proposals on Upwork. In this bonus, you're going to get 10 evergreen templates that you can always utilize. Because if you don't want to spend time writing proposals from scratch or this outreach from scratch, then you can use these templates. Like, these are separate templates from the one already given to you in the course already, in the Upwork and LinkedIn sessions and the offer sessions. These are already separate ones, and they are also going to be made available to you. So you have a whole lot of arsenal at your disposal. Okay. Now, free bonus number 6 is how to work and design on Google Docs. Right? You're going to learn how to work and design on Google Docs. I'm going to show you how you can actually do that if you are going to be a writer, or not just being a writer, because you can present a portfolio on Google Docs you can deliver other types of job via Google Docs. I'm going to show you how you can actually do that. All right. Now, free bonus number 7 you're going to get is 3 payment methods to receive your money at the best rates. Imagine you get your money now and you make the mistake of exchanging it via bank, and bank gives you a bad exchange rate of, let's say, 450, because that's what they're still writing if you enter bank now. 450, 460, 470, right? So if you make $1,000, you're going to maybe get 470k. Compared to if you use black market rates or you use good rates and you're getting at either 710 or maybe a little bit 700, you're getting your money at 700k. You're seeing that you're already losing 200k, 300k difference to exchange rates. You don't want that. You want to say you're earning in dollars and you're actually getting the reward for that work you're actually doing and earning in dollars. Okay, so let's move forward. And as you can see, I've included everything you need to take your first step on a freelancer's path to earning at least $1,000 per project. Okay. Without you needing much experience, without you needing a laptop or a high-end computer, with just your smartphone, without you needing a degree, without you needing to wait years at a Nigerian job, without you being the most gifted in your industry, without you relying on luck, okay? Please note that all these materials are in video PDFs and recording formats. So they are both in videos, PDF, and recording. Just the same I'm explaining to you, that's how I'm going to be explaining to you. We are going to get meetings, we are going to get support group and the rest of that, okay? Now, how much does it cost to get the Freelance for Smartphone course? Let's be honest. You saw my student Elo, and you saw his testimonial where his first job is at $1,000. If someone told you that, okay, your first job from this is going to be $1,000, like, obviously it's not typical for everybody. Some people's own is going to be $200, some people's own is going to be $100, some people's own is going to be $500, and the rest of that, right? But if someone told you that, hey, this can be your first job, and this is not going to be the only job you are going to make, you are going to make a whole lot of money ahead of the curve, how much do you think the person will charge? I mean, obviously the person told you to pay $100 for it. It's awesome because that's just 71,000 naira, and you're going to make thousands of dollars from it, from just $100 investment, right? So that's a fair price. But I'm not going to ask you to charge that. And in a minute, I'll tell you the price. But first, I want you to look at this. Okay? So we can look at Timileyin, one of my students again. And he goes, luckily the client retained me, right? And I was like, let's go. He said, I'm coming to Dubai soon. Once you can afford to do so, come to, because actually Dubai is an awesome place to be at. It's going to stretch your mind, and you're going to see life from a whole different perspective, not the whole superhead we have been doing back in Nigeria. But that's not what this webinar is about, okay? He goes, my life has changed, to be honest. At home, my parents don't even look at me the same way anymore. Even amongst my guys, God, I'm so grateful. Bless the day I message you. So when he got this, my program, it was just 8,000 naira then. So imagine, from 8,000 to $8,000. $8,000 at today's exchange rate. Let's look at it. Let's say you start today and you get to make $8,000 in the next, before the year ends, right? 8,710. You're going to get to make over 5.6 million naira as it is. And this guy has gone over to make over $12,000. It's actually at $13,000 now, the last time I spoke with him. And what does he do? Copywriting from his phone, right? Sometimes he switched to his laptop, but it's basically copywriting from his phone. Do you see the massive advantage you actually have? Now you look at this one, it goes, I can hire you for $750. But first I'll have to talk with the team. Sterling will send you an email to explain your work. And after then, Sterling actually sent him and they've hired him for $750 per month. $750 per month sounds like small money, but it's not actually small to the average Nigerian. An extra $750 per month will do a lot for you, right? It's basically 532,000 naira per month. That's awesome amount of money you can make online. This will leverage you. This will keep you afloat in the coming inflation and the rest of that. You'll be able to do things way better than you've been doing them before. You'll be able to help your family. And like Timileyin says, you can see that's also nothing special there. Because I know if you are a youngster, your parents are asking you what's going on, or if you are someone who has a family, you are seeing that the need for an extra income and the rest of that, right? So these extra amounts were going to go a far way. And you're not going to earn them one-off. You're going to earn them monthly. Like it's not even just monthly, weekly, depending on how the client pays you, right? It's going to be weekly too. So you think about that, and it's awesome because currently I have a retainer client that pays me $1,000 weekly from their job, right? So now I'm basically earning 2.8 million every month from that client. But the money comes in weekly as a weekly payment, every week $1,000, every week $1,000. Do you see how amazing that is? And I have 2 retainer clients, but that's just one of my retainer clients. So do you see how awesome that is, right? And this can be you too, because it does not happen for me, it happens for my students. And you can cut through the whole disrespect and the rest of that and go straight to earning as a top freelancer, okay? So let's move forward. And here's some more testimonials. This one came from one of my programs group, you can see. It was like, got my first offer. The first offer is at $400, right? That's his first job, $400. $400 times 710. That's 284,000 naira. I love doing the maths because it helps open your mind to the possibilities outside outside Nigeria and in the online space, right? So imagine you being the person to actually earn this amount, right? As your first job. If someone told you are going to make your first job going to be 284,000 naira, how much will you be willing to pay for to get into the Freelancing For Smartphone program, right? Think about it. Walter, you opened my eyes to what's possible on LinkedIn last year. I decided to be serious with it. Literally, I just signed my first contract on client for $1,000 monthly. The one I got through outreach. But the second one came completely organically. Good stuff and good looking out. Blessed month ahead. Do you see how awesome this is? Right? Because these are people's, and you know, as chance we have, these are people's first contracts. These are people after taking the program, or after taking the Freelancing For Smartphone, or taking any of my freelancing programs. So when you think about it, you're like, wow, more, this is nice. And that's something that is consistent. It's not something you're living up to chance. It's not something you're living up to luck. $1,000 monthly is super awesome because now you know that you're making 710K every month. That gives you a certain amount of comfort. You're able to handle your bills, help family, do things you want to do, literally. Okay? So let's move on to the next one. Now, be honest to yourself. How much do you think it's worth for someone to show you how to land these jobs? Because I have shown you someone who made $1,000, shown you someone who made $400, even $400, right? It's one way you're going to make 280K as the first job. And remember, it's not one-off. It can be monthly, it can be weekly. You're going to get higher gigs. If your first job is at $1,000, you're still going to go ahead in the future and using what you're learning and the other things you're going to be learning to make 2,000 to close to 2,000 gig, 2,000 gig, and the rest of that, right? So I told you, hey, how much would you be willing to pay for it? How much do you think is a fair price to pay for something like that? To be honest, $500 is not a bad thing, and $100 is also not a bad price. But you're not going to have to pay any of that amount, right? Because the set price for the Freelancing For Smartphone course is 30,000 naira. But here's the but. For you, who is an early bird, who got to stick with me to the end of this webinar, you get to pay the launch price of just 20,000 naira, and you still get access to everything mentioned here. And you also get a special bonus where you don't have to pay any money to actually upgrade or move to the next. When we are upgrading the program or anything, you're not going to pay any other money. It's just a 20,000 naira one-time fee. Okay. I'm sure you're excited right now. So to make payments right now, simply click on the link below to make payments. So that link is either you can send it to the person who sent you to this webinar. He will give you his link, or it should be down below on the page. You can simply send your payment to, make your payment through that link, and you'll get access to my support group where I am, where all of my students are, and how you can navigate through all of these things. Okay. So one more thing. Here are some more testimonials. I told you I have hundreds of testimonials. My students are not, you can see the $1,000 per month, right? So you see that we're going to make over $1 million collectively. I'm talking about only my students. I'm not even adding my own income. And I want you to be part of these statistics of people who contribute to making over $1 million. It's going to be more, to be honest. If I'm being very realistic, it's going to actually get close to 2, if not more, before now and the end of the year. But let's keep going. And I want you to be part of these statistics, okay? Now you can see, I just got a gig of $2,000, and the client wants to make payment now. So he was buzzing me up on Telegram because he was trying to find the suitable payment method. Because if you go and use bank exchange rate and go and use nonsense system, maybe let's say bank exchange rate is even 500 times 2,000. Listen, that's 1.3 million, right? But if you use a black market rate and the person takes their share, maybe they give you at 705. The current exchange is 710, right? But they give you at 705. For me, they give you 710. 705 times 2,600 is 1.8 million, right? So you can say that if you use a reckless exchange rate to actually get money, you are going to be short of 533,000 naira. That's people's monthly salary. Like for monthly salary for 6 months and more of that, right? So there's one. You can see this was from Elo on this thing again. He was like impressed with the work, so he paid instantly. He goes 100. You can see the money, $200 actually. That's what they paid him, and he's going to be paying him more. So just because his first job was at basically it's out this thing outside of Upwork was basically $100. Now the person is paying him $200 monthly, right? Now let's move on to this, and that was his first job, and now you can see that he upgraded to making over this thing. So you see that this is something that works just once. It works consistently, right? It was like it's a letter writing gig, $12 per hour. This is from Jay, right? Now look at this. 12 hours times 12 hours, you're working 30 hours a week, that's $360 per week. So 360 times 710 is basically 255k every week, right? Awesome stuff. So if I'm making 255k every week, times that by this thing, 4 weeks in a month, that's over $1 million every month, or basically $1 million every month. Awesome stuff. And this is the possibilities that is open to virtually everyone who has access to this information. If you are privileged to be on this webinar, this is also available to you. So basically, simply follow the link provided to make payment. So if someone sends this to you, you are going to get access to my course, my program, and everything. You're going to get access to support group where I'm on and the rest of that. So simply ask that person, hey, give me the link. I would love to make payment right now. And it's very imperative because the price of this program is at an early bird launch price, and the price is definitely going to go up. So simply request for the link right now and make the payment, and you will get access to everything. Just follow the link and you're going to get access to everything. Now let's talk about frequently asked questions. Okay, so because you might have some questions. Okay. So, can I do this with my phone? As you can see, the skills being taught here are skills that are designed for you to do them with your phone. So, yes, you can actually do this with your smartphone. Okay. When will this program end, or when this program starts? Now, I said already, it's an online program that will always be available to you, and as long as it's going to be available to you when you make payment, and you'll be able to join us at any time. It's in recorded videos, audios, and you can also join us on our live sections that we hold on weekends also when you join the program, and get access to the recorded ones. Okay, what if I have a job, I am a busy student? Can I do this on the side? Yes. What you simply need to do is, you are not going to go for hourly gigs, right? You are going to go for maybe monthly retainers, or gigs that they say, okay, I need this done by next week. Do this, write this email series for me for $300, right? That's where you can actually take when your free time is and actually write that for your clients and get paid, right? So yes, if you can dedicate 2 hours every day, you are good to go. What if I don't have a digital skill? That's not a problem. Currently, there are 2 high income skills and you can learn in the program, and more. We are working on more currently. I'm speaking to you. One is already almost ready. The graphic design for this is almost ready, and that you can add, so you can get updates, and you can get the updates once you make the payment today. you are going to not have to pay, because the price of this program is definitely going up. It's too cheap for 20,000. This is the early bird launch. So if you make payment today, when we are done upgrading and updating the price, you don't get to pay anything extra. You're going to pay basically the same amount of money that you have paid. Okay. Am I going to pay for anything else? No, absolutely not. Upon payments, you won't be asked to pay for anything else. Neither will you need this, as freelancing requires no startup cost. You don't need any startup cost. You just need your phone and the internet, and you are good to go. And a skill, obviously, which you also get in the program. Okay? How long until I get my first client and start making money? I could easily tell you that within 2 weeks you will get your first client. And as you can see, I have proof to show back it up. I've shown you some testimonials from my students and the rest of that. Right, but not everybody. Here is the thing: not everyone has that same type of results, basically. Because, sorry about that. Because some people, it might take them up to a month. Some people might take them up to 2 months. It might take them longer than that. Some people it take them way less than that. But the point here is that if you follow everything I'm going to show, you're going to be getting clients who pay you $1,000 per project and a lot more as your demand goes up. And it's going to be probably much sooner than you expect. Because even if you don't get your first client within a month, it doesn't invalidate the fact that what if the next month you get your first client at $1,000? Isn't that way better than you getting your first client maybe within a week, and that client is paying you $200 and the next one pays you $200, and that's all you've gotten within 2 months, right? You have successfully earned way more than someone who got their first client at $200 and listen within a week and the rest of that. But basically, what I'm trying to tell you is that this is basically a zero loss type of investment, because you are investing in yourself, in your skills. These skills are going to be with you forever. You're going to be able to you're going to use them and utilize them in other areas of your life, right? Basically, even if you're someone who is a 9 to 5, this thing, you can use to buff up your skill sets and buff up your resume and CV. Okay, so that's the reality of it. And is this program meant for copywriters? No, we are working on adding much more this, and you can see testimonials came from both people who are doing social media marketing, people who are doing graphic designs, and the rest of that. So no, it's not only for copywriters. And how long will I have access to this program and everything once you sign up today? You have lifetime access to everything. So you can relax and actually consume this at your own pace. So depending on how long you feel like it's going to take you to do, that's entirely up to you. But you're going to have a lifetime access to it always. Okay? How long will it take me to go through this program and start implementing? Typically, I would say it takes an average of 2 weeks for someone to go through the program and start implementing. Right? But some people, it takes them less, some people, it takes them more. It depends on how many hours a day you have free to go through it. And remember, you have lifetime access. So you can always go through this maybe in the midnight. You can go through it early in the morning when you're free. You can go through it in between work hours and jot down and the rest of that. Okay? Do I need to go through every section of the program before I get my first clients or start making money? No, you absolutely don't need to do any of that. Because basically, you can just take the Upwork session and you have a skill and you can be making a whole lot of money out of it, between $500 to $1,000 out of it monthly, even more than that. Or just the offer creation on the LinkedIn listing modules, and you have a skill, you can do that. So you don't have to go through the entire thing before you actually start getting clients. As you're going through it, implement and you would see results. With the price of this course increase anytime soon, it's 100% definitely going to increase. So the original price it was meant to be at start was $30,000, but it's even going to increase more than that. But basically, since this is the early bird launch price, I'm going to allow a few number of people to actually make the payment of just 20,000 naira. And if you are listening to this now, you are one of those lucky people who are actually going to be able to make a payment of just 20,000 naira to get into it. Okay, it's definitely going to increase. So the sooner the better, because it's not going to. It's just like a few weeks from now, it's going to increase. So looking forward to seeing you inside, and hopefully I've been able to answer all your questions. Okay. Whatever you decide is entirely up to you. So looking forward to seeing you inside, and don't forget this is the early bird launch price and it's going to be missing. And basically just go through it again, and if you feel like, oh yeah, freelancing is definitely for me, because I believe it's something that everyone can do if they have proper guidance. You have seen my students who came from the scratch, who had similar stories to you, and you've seen what they've been able to achieve by actually taking action. All of these students, majority of them, started from watching a webinar like this or attending a webinar like this, and then you can see their results in the not so distant future. And this too can be you if you actually take action. So with that being said, it has been awesome having to talk on this class with you, having to talk on this webinar with you. And I look forward to seeing you inside the Freelance for Smartphone course. Okay, so see you inside.